Sorry about that. I don't know why it cut the stream. But either way, we are good now, so let's keep going.
Of getting people to believe.
I don't think it's the snow, because this happened the other day, too. I might just have to unplug and replug stuff. I might need to get a new wire, honestly. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But either way, we're back, so let's go. Toriador with 66 months, thank you. Can anyone go over on YouTube and let them know that there's a new stream? It's on YouTube, it's just under a new link.
Just the opposite, because
when you restart, you can't start it on the same video on YouTube. You gotta restart, and it's like a whole new video, so I just added part 2.
If Satan were really behind a Ouija board, naturally, he wouldn't admit it. A Ouija board is a divination device. The Bible forbids and condemns divination. Numerous divination devices, crystal balls, pendulums, dowsing rods, cards, have been used by the human race as far back in time as we can trace. A Ouija board actually is specifically designed for contacting spirits in do-it-yourself seances. After World War I, Ouija boards were widely used to contact what people thought.
Yeah, after the World Wars, there was a big boom and stuff like this, because a lot of people, everyone had tons of dead family members that they wanted to get in contact with. It's not that shocking. It's a little sad. It's not shocking, though.
Were the spirits of soldiers who had...
Same thing happened after the Civil War, I think. There was a boom in mediums and stuff like that in the United States.
Died in France. By 1967, the Ouija board had replaced Monopoly as America's #1 parlor game. Today, there are all kinds of games out there that will lead you into the occult. One of the most popular would be Dungeons and Dragons. It obsesses you with weird creatures and psychic powers. Occultism is also a common preoccupation of many of today's most popular films.
That's so funny. Because the original thing's from the 80s, right? So someone must have taken this video and put pictures of more modern movies over it, because like this movie, the Rob Zombie Halloween didn't come out until like the early 2000s, like the aughts. I don't know exactly what year, maybe 2007 if I had to take a random shot in the dark at it. I don't know. So certainly someone edited this to include more contemporary horror films to scare people. That's funny.
Films.
Oh, allegedly they're releasing the Rob Zombie Halloween movies on 4K for anyone who's into them. I'm not, but, you know. It was 2007. I'm so good at guessing movie dates.
The young people, however, are discovering that this isn't just fiction. You can actually experience these things. And, of course, drugs, such as LSD.
Also, that music definitely sounded like it was trying to rip off The Exorcist.
Also open the door to occult powers.
It was as a teenager that I first started into drugs, first with marijuana, then LSD, mescaline, and cocaine. I found that drugs were a doorway through which I could...
So this guy's just a grifter, right? Because he talks like the kind of guy that would have been a 70s, 80s, like, occult grifter. Yeah, first I got into marijuana, and then I got into mescaline, and then I started snorting coke with my butthole. Like, he's just got the fake narc voice, you know what I mean? Or he's just, like, making shit up so he can go and get money to, like... go and get donations to be a guest pastor at someone's church or whatever.
Easily get to a deeper state of consciousness through which I wanted to hook up to more of a universal power.
I've interviewed young people around the world who, on drug trips, were contacted by spirit beings that initiated them into astrology, Hinduism, yoga, transcendental meditation, gave them a mantra. They didn't have to pay Maharishi a dime. The spirits also gave them psychic powers. Since the 1950s and 60s, millions of young people in the Western world have been initiated into sorcery. In the New Testament, the Greek word for sorcery is pharmakia. A sorcerer is a person who takes consciousness-altering drugs in order to contact spirit beings to gain supernatural powers. The book of Revelation seems to indicate that in the last days, sorcery would be revived. Remember that the drug user today is the university professor, the doctor, lawyer, psychiatrist, leading politician.
Oh, a psychiatrist taking drugs. That never happens.
We're being fed the sorcerer's philosophy from the top down.
The biggest thing, I think, was my ability to sense what other people were thinking. Not trying to read a person's mind, but knowing what was going on in their mind, having thoughts. I always thought that this made me a little bit superior to everyone else. I didn't recognize it as any type of power. I thought it was something that I possessed myself, just a superior thing.
My mother innocently
Talks like a
bought me tarot
pastor.
cards, and I would read people's futures, and I would always tell them of things that were going to occur, such as one girl, I told her father was going to die, and within the week her father did die. One
you
girl,
kill
I
him?
told her her leg was going to be broken, and the next day her kneecap slid to the back of her leg.
I was invited to a party of very influential
Ew.
people
Ew.
in New York society.
Ugh.
And I was told about a woman that was reading cards and palms and futures. Well, upon entering the house and the room, she was sitting there. She immediately turned to me, and there was about a 15-second stare before she introduced herself, and she instantly recognized that I had had a great power.
When I was 12 years old, we started having slumber parties, my friends and we started having seances at this slumber party. And before this first seance that I ever performed, my very best friend, who I'd grown up with, had died in an automobile accident. And we used to play dress up and dolls and things like that, and comb our hair out and put on makeup and things of this nature. And during this seance, to bring this girl back, I felt someone combing my hair out. And after the seance was over, we found a comb laying underneath me, and several of the bristles were missing from the comb. We found them in my hair, which was an obvious sign that someone had been there.
That's were hairbrushes in the 80s just the shittiest? Where like they were coming apart constantly? What a weird story.
And had manifest their presence to us.
It was after talking with this woman for a while that she introduced herself to me as a medium. And that's how I became interested in seances. Well, she invited me to a seance and had asked me to sit at her right-hand side, which at the